Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning, wherever everyone everywhere, depending on where and when you are watching. It's a warm summer, 4th of July, sunny day outside my door. What's it looking like outside yours? STEM, science, technology, engineer, and mathematics is the focus for July. Out of school, parents looking for summer camp programs, and no longer is summer camp just going to the pool, and baseball and basketball and arts and crafts. Our world is changing and it's moving faster than light. The future of work is not so much manual labor, although those jobs are still necessary. We still need those people. Fix our refrigerator, fix the air condition, but the future is STEM, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So today's topic and subject is science. I am your co-host, Ambassador Lisa Parks, and welcome to Africaonline TV. Now, if you're tuning in on Facebook, we want you to join the conversation, and you want to join the conversation, join us on Zoom. The ID number is 514-199-854. That's 514-199-854. And now for the editorial of the day, my co-host, Nia-san.
Good afternoon and greetings. Well, it shouldn't be good afternoon because we're on different time zones. So greetings to all of us on this world. Welcome to a new month, the month of July. July is the 7th month of the year in the Gregorian calendar and comes between June and August. It has 31 days. July was named after Julius Caesar, the historian of many years ago, many centuries actually. The midway point of the year was either on July 2nd or in the night of the 1st to the 2nd of July. So 2022 is halfway gone. July 3rd is celebrated as Disobedience Day as well as International Plastic Free Day. So please, Mrs. everybody on the show, please do not be disobedient today. Don't go for that. But also don't go for anything plastic today. Go shopping with a recyclable bag rather than a plastic bag, because plastic bags, we all know, are not environment friendly and contribute in blocking waterways or suffocating marine life, killing fish and other nutritive aquatic life. We are today on the 184th day of the 365 days of 2022, as we already said. That tells us that there are 181 days left until 2022 is behind us or ends, yes. On a global plan, July 1st was Canada Day and celebrates the anniversary of the Constitution Act, which was signed on July 1, 1867. This was the day that the 3 British colonies of Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, and the province of Canada united to form a single country called Canada. It is a memorable weekend, and tomorrow, 4th of July, or say July 4th, celebrates the day the Declaration of Independence was adopted, declaring that the then 13 British colonies were henceforth the United States of America, an independent country no longer under the rule of Great Britain and King George III, or whatever king came up thereafter. The 4th of July is thus one of the most important holidays in the United States. On July 4, Americans celebrate their Declaration of Independence from Great Britain. As we already said, this happened way back many centuries ago in 1776. Nobody here was born yet. People, however, enjoy the day with barbecues, family events, and fireworks. Patriotic displays are organized throughout the country. This time around, we dare to say that July 4th should not just be celebration, fireworks, and the like. July 4th should be a moment to look back to reflect and to ask ourselves one fundamental question. What must we do to end divisions and step up and complete the task of building that perfect union that America's founding fathers dreamed of when they wrote the Declaration of Independence and eventually the Constitution of this country in 1787? Well, independence, 1776, Constitution, 1787. On July 14th, that is, we're crossing the ocean, across the Atlantic Ocean, it would be Bastille Day. If you know your history, you won't ask what that is. If you don't, I can remind you. What the 4th of July is for the United States of America is for the French, that is the people that live in France. It was the storming of the Bastille, a royal fortress in Paris. The French Revolution started soon thereafter, and for years since, Bastille Day is the French national holiday, celebrated with flags, parades, and fireworks. Parlez-vous français? Peut-être. Okay, no problem. But we must leave the pages of history to the paragraphs of Africaonline Media Corporation's own story. Africaonline Media Corporation opens a new chapter in its relentless story of raising awareness, seeking solutions, and making a way forward to improve lives and lifestyles on the African continent in particular, and the global community of the African diaspora in general. Doing so is an instrumental matter, paragraphs by paragraphs, and topic by topic or topics by topics, weekly discussions, and so on and so forth. To that goal, we turn today and begin a series on what has become known as STEM education. As we announced the topic this past week, our focus was and is to take each letter in the word STEM, which becomes rather an acronym, no more a word, and so tear it apart, take it letter by letter to see what all that means. For and on how we can bring our audience around to make meaning out of the word STEM, which when it becomes an acronym, you have those S-T-E-M, of course, there are dots between. We do so not because you do not know that or what all that means. We do so just because we want to clear the cobwebs and ensure that S-T-E-M with those dots in between the letters makes more sense. We are aware that the general temptation one gets is to associate a word one sees or hears from as soon as you get it, you think that it is something in real life. Not so for STEM, S.T.E.M, that acronym. That is true of that word. So when we come across the word STEM with those dots, we should not immediately associate it with that part that holds a tree up and straight. No, not in this case. STEM, S-T-E-M with those dots, here has nothing to do with what we might be imagining. STEM with those dots is an acronym that stands for, get it, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. It has to do with the world of academics and is, quote, a broad term used to group together such academic subjects as science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, as we already said, and it is thus a term typically used to address an education policy or curriculum, inviting us to see it as applying to workforce development, national security concerns, and even immigration policy. That one is a quote, workforce development, national security concerns, and even immigration policy. To better understand what our acronym means, Africaonline Media Corporation will focus on STEM throughout the month of July. To kickstart our discussion this Sunday, we will focus on the letter S for science. What is science and why does its mention often scare so many in the academic world? Why does the word science bring, what do you call them, bumps on your body? And of course, you cover your face because you are shy to mention it, to listen to it, to watch it, to use it. Join us beginning today to have your say on what you know or would want to know about science. What thoughts does the mere mention of the word science evoke in your mind? This live broadcast is unscripted and is being recorded for uploading onto YouTube, Facebook, and other walls, other network social media walls, so that tomorrow and the day after, we will be able to go back to it to better understand it. So over now to the chair of Africaonline Media Corporation, Reverend Pam. Reverend Pam, you are not showing your face again today, but we would love always to see your face. All the same, take the ball, play it the best you can. Over to you, Reverend Pam.
Oh, Lord Jesus. Yeah, Reverend Pam has been going like Duracell battery. Don't worry, I'll show my face next Sunday. It's been, whew. Jesus is Lord. That's all I'm going to say. Did you say today was National Disobedience Day?
Yes, my research tells me so.
I mean, who wants to honor disobedience?
Well, America honors everything.
Isn't that ridiculous? That is so ridiculous. I could see us honoring obedience, but not disobedience. The devil is a liar. But anyway, thank you so much, Nia Song, again. And when you were reading your editorial, I just kept thinking about how many more volumes we have. We've only published volume 1. I can tell you right now, this Reverend Pam don't have time to edit or put any other book together. But maybe Ambassador, there you go, Africa's Brain Power, that's our volume 1. Those were editorials from March 20th, 2016 to December 2017.
Wow.
And now, so we have 5 years worth of editorials that need to be put together in a book. Maybe Charisma or some young lady, some intern will do the work that I had to do in the middle of 1 million things. I don't have that kind of time anymore. These things are powerful. That book is on Amazon, by the way.
Wow.
I named it Africa's Brain Power because it is an example and an exhibition of Africa's brain power. That's why I named the book Africa's Brain Power. But it's Nia Song's book. I did the editing, I did the preface, and like I said, I named the book. So, but the brains in that book is his, not mine. I was just being obedient, not disobedient. The Lord asked me to put it together, and I did. So see, I did not disobey, thank God. So I'm not celebrating national
Reverend Pam, it is a collective effort. It is a collective effort.
Yeah, but yeah, it's still your material. So if there's any student, we'll give credit. We're a non-profit organization. If you want to work on compiling volume 2, 3, 4, we have enough material, 5 years worth of editorials that need to be edited. That needs to go in volume 2, 3, 4.
Wow.
It would be good to have that. But I want to wish, on behalf of Africaonline Media Corporation, I want to wish the United States and all Americans around the globe happy 4th of July tomorrow. You know, I want to welcome everyone, especially our young guest today, beautiful, charismatic Charisma. You know, she's always, her spirit is so sweet. And I'll just guess those are her parents because she looks like them. You know, she's Charmaine Daniel. You know, it's amazing because we had Dr. Ford, who was supposed to be on here, and we put a flyer out, but he had some last minute emergencies. And Ambassador Lisa had put on the forum yesterday that she invited, did you say goddaughter or one of your?
Yes, my goddaughter.
Yeah, so I just thought, I said, well, I mean, I don't know why she didn't say Charisma, because Charisma doesn't belong to her alone. Charisma is part of Africaonline, you know. But I just thought, I said, flesh and blood did not reveal. I said, God knew that Dr. Ford was going to have some challenges, and that's why Charisma. And I'm very excited because Charisma is a student, a science student. So hopefully from this show, a lot of young girls around the globe, especially on the continent, will want to get into the sciences, which is what we're trying to do. Especially our sister organization, Africa's Brain Bank. Our goal is to get 1 million girls into STEM. I'm not going to give you the timelines, but we're going to do that. You know, we're not leaving the boys behind, but we're starting with the girls because we know girls are not really represented in STEM. But Nia, so you mentioned something in your editorial about not to confuse it with the stem of a tree. I would say STEM S.T.E.M is the stem of any economy, because this stem is what is going to hold, what holds the economy. We know we are in the information technology age, we're in the knowledge area. STEM is the stem of the society. So this is what holds a society, and this is what's going to get Africa out of economic doldrums and the minority community, African American community. So STEM is a stem of society, you know. But I want to welcome everybody again. So I'm going to hand over to Madam Ambassador to welcome Charisma. This is not her first time. She's part of Africaonline. She's not a guest. So, but her parents, I think this is their first time being on the show. So Ambassador Lisa, over to you.
Thank you so much, Reverend Pam. Thank you, Nia Sung, for a wonderful editorial. This is my day for letting loose and rioting. It's a day to celebrate disobedience. Yeah!
No way.
A day to cut loose.
Yes.
Yes. No, actually, it gives me great pleasure to introduce formally Miss Charisma Daniel. I'm going to read her short bio. Charisma graduated with her Associates in Arts from Halifax Community College before graduating valedictorian of her high school, the Roanoke Valley Early College, in May 2019. Charisma now attends the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, where she is earning her Bachelor's of Science in Biology and her Bachelor's of Art in Communication Studies. Charisma is a member of UNC's Honor Society, Honor Carolina program, as well as the UNC Johnson Scholar and Golden Leaf Scholarship recipient. And I might add that Charisma, upon her graduation, received more scholarship money than everybody and anybody in the entire state of North Carolina. And I was
awesome.
Charisma is a Carolina Accelerated Research Scholar and performs undergrad research at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. So while pursuing her double major at UNC, she is also interning for a research organization, RTI International, as an innovation consulting science communication intern. Ladies and gentlemen, all around the world, brothers and sisters, let's welcome our guest, young Miss Charisma Daniels.
Oh my God. I wish our ambassador was here. Chief Jones, he lives in Greensboro, North Carolina.
What?
Yes, Ambassador Lars lives in so
oh,
Charisma,
yes,
are
he
you
does.
zooming in from North Carolina right now?
Is he?
I'm asking Charisma, are you in North Carolina right now?
I am in North Carolina right now.
Oh, I'm definitely going to introduce you to our ambassador, Africa's Brain Bank ambassador, global ambassador, Chief Lance Jones. Oh
Amen.
my God, you're
Amen.
welcome.
So,
Thank you.
So Charisma, welcome to Africaonline. It is a pleasure to have you and your parents here. Charmaine and Will, we greet you in the name of Jesus. Hallelujah. So let's get into the conversation because we've done a whole lot of talking. So science, you are a young woman, a very young woman, taking a double major, working research. Why science?
Well, first I would like to say thank you so much for having me on the show. I appreciate the opportunity to talk about the S in STEM science. I love learning about science because learning about science and the world around me helps me to arm you with the knowledge and understanding to help change the world around me.
Awesome.
So the more I know, the more I can do. For example, right now I'm in a neurobiology class and I'm learning about the study of the brain and neuroscience and synapses in the brain. And the more I learn about that, the more I understand how people use that knowledge to combat diseases like dementia and Alzheimer's. And the more I know, the more people can apply it. It's amazing. That's why I love science. It gives power.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah.
Welcome, Ronald. Welcome, Ronald. Connie, we welcome you as well. Anyone else have a question for Charisma before we go on? Okay.
Yes, I do.
Okay,
I do.
Let me go.
Okay,
go.
yes, and you go, then I'll go.
Okay.
Yes, Charisma, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Growing up back in Africa, in a country called Cameroon, many young women were shy, as I inferred in my editorial. They were shy about talking science, measuring in science. But here is a young woman who has shattered that glass ceiling. What motivated you? How much did your parents contribute to having you stay in science or stay where you are specializing in today?
Oh, my parents were an amazing support for me. It was something that I really had to learn and try hard and stay with. It didn't come easy. It takes a while to learn those concepts, and really just having my parents, my wonderful mother and father in my corner to help me and support me, helped me to stay with it. Even though I really loved doing it, I needed the support to stay with it and continue to learn and grow. So I'm so thankful for them for helping me.
Awesome.
Your parents apart back in school, were there any particular teachers that pushed you or that encouraged you to stay in science or to be science focused?
Yes, I am researching at a lab at UNC, and they encourage me a lot because they help inspire me, and seeing some of the things that they do and discover, it makes me want to continue my research as well. And then in high school, I had several teachers who helped me and motivated me and spoke to me and told me about opportunities and things that I could apply for to help me get to college today.
Reverend Pan.
Yes, even though you hijacked one of my questions.
Yes, mine too.
There's plenty of questions, but okay, Charisma, I am a science-focused person also. And when I was in high school back home, I was only one of 3 girls in what they call S.T.E.M in high school. That's biology, chemistry, physics, and math. I took those in high school. There were only 3 of us girls in the class. I've mentioned this story before. The first semester, I came on top of the class in physics, and the guys took it personal. They were offended. They actually held a meeting to say a woman, a girl cannot beat them in physics, because the culture there is like things like physics and math are for boys. I'm just saying that. That's in the continent. I don't know if that is what happens here in the United States, especially in the minority community. Have you ever faced backlash or been ostracized by either your male classmates or even some girls? Because some of our female colleagues that were in the arts, and you imagine they were like, oh, look at these ones, they think they're so smart because they're doing biology, chemistry, physics, math. Did you ever, I don't know, I'm just trying to get the dynamics to understand if it's the same situation here. Then after you answer that, I have a follow-up question.
Okay. Well, thank you for that question. When I was in high school and middle school, I was in a predominantly like Black school, but there was several children who would kind of like tease me and taunt me because I was trying to exercise my skills in science. And that was very interesting for me to see in like middle school and high school, that other people of my own color would do that. And then when I started going to other programs, and I once did a program called Governor School, and I was working on a research project with Venus flytraps. I was doing a research project on plants, and I was the only African-American female in the room for the whole summer program. And I remember we took our group picture at the end, and I realized that, and I was aware of it from the beginning, but it wasn't until I got ready to finish the program that I was like, wow, I was kind of like spearheading this. I was kind of in the front being an example. And I hope that the next summers and the following summers, there would be more females of color in STEM. And it was a wonderful opportunity for me, and it encouraged me a lot.
Awesome. So another question before we go to the others, because we definitely want to hear from your parents too, but you know, what would you do? I know you have a lot on your plate right now, so you have an opportunity. Thousands of people are going to watch this show for years to come. Millions. It's not going down. It will be on the air. You know, it'll be both on. After this, it's going to be uploaded on our YouTube page. You know, so what would you say to the African American young girl in where in Houston here, We have some areas called Fifth Ward and Third Ward. They're underdeveloped. I don't know what they call them in other cities, you know, or in Philadelphia or in North Carolina, but there are some areas that, you know, are not upscale, you know, and the children there, they don't have mentors. You know, a lot of our people lack mentors.
Yes.
Because your parents encouraged you and they supported you to do what you're doing. There are some young girls whose parents are telling them, oh, you just need to get married, or you don't need to go into science. You can just go and study domestic science or go and learn how to do hair and become a beautician or those kind of things. What would you say to the young African-American girl in an underdeveloped area? I don't want to use a derogatory term here in the United States, and the young African girl on the continent who doesn't have a mentor, whose parents were not educated, so they cannot support her or tell her the importance of STEM, the importance of sciences, you know, and especially technology these days. What would you say to them? Again, the key word is that they don't have mentors.
Right.
So it's not like, oh, listen to your mentor, they don't have it. What would you say to them to help them still go into STEM without those mentors?
Well, firstly, I would commend them for wanting to have an interest in it. And
Awesome.
I would tell them that it is possible. And I would say to stay with it and believe in yourself. And just because you don't have a mentor right now, there are resources out there that you can look into. There are books, there's observing the world around you and learning things from it. There's the internet, there's different people that you might be able to talk to and different ways to get knowledge outside of just mentors or outside of just school. And you can use those things to build upon it until you get there and continue to learn. That's kind of what I did. When I was younger, I would kind of like go outside. I was really into ladybugs and learning about the environment. And I love that. I would go outside and I would just like write down things about the ladybugs, learn about it. And then I didn't have anyone to tell me about ladybugs or the environment. So I kind of like went to the library. I was like, hey, can I have a book on this? And I would Google it and try to like grow my own from little ladybug larvae and just exploring. And that's possible. You can do that.
Awesome.
Wow, wonderful.
Awesome.
That's awesome. That's
Awesome. All right, Niason.
Yes,
Oh, no,
so
Ambassador
there is-
Lisa, well,
Yeah.
either one of you.
yes, I will ask a question and then after that I'll call on others. Charisma, now, one of the things I'm tempted always to ask is, have you at one point shrugged and sighed and said, I wish I had not chosen this field?
Yes, yes, absolutely. There are periods of time where I say to myself, I wish I hadn't chosen this field. And sometimes the reason why I say that is because I'm like, wow, this is hard. But then I tell myself, it's hard, but you're learning and you're working through it and you're getting better. And then I'm proud of myself for staying with it because it's hard. So that same thing that makes you say, wow, why am I doing this? It's the same thing that motivates me to learn more about it and go further.
Okay.
Awesome.
Wow, that's awesome.
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 That's great. Okay, I'll go to your parents now. I believe they have been, as you said, a driving force behind making sure that Charisma made it. How much contributions did Dad and Mom make to your being who you are today, doing what you are doing? Dad and Mom, the ball is in your court. Take turns.
Okay.
Yeah, we did. Thanks for being on the show, first of all. And we are 100% supportive with Charisma, financially, spiritually, and we undergird her in all areas. Whatever it takes to get her to the level that she needs to be, to encourage her, take her places, help her in life, help her with her studies, give her the right tools that she needs, make sure she have the proper internet services and everything that she needs to do what she do. All her events, we try to go there and be supportive. All her conferences and graduations and meetings and all those type of things. We take time out of our schedule and support her and undergird her and support her in all those areas that she needs to be supported. And most of all, encourage her that she can do it. with the help of God, she can do it. Stay focused, and we are here for you, whatever you need. We try to tell her to stay focused on her goal, just stay focused and aspire to do what she's doing.
Mom?
Let me say something before Mom says what she's saying, because I mean, throughout the parents have been beaming, especially the dad. I want to, before Mom speaks, I'm not going to ask her age. I don't want the whole world to know her age, but I am inviting you, Charisma, to the Africa's Brain Bank 3rd Annual Summit and Charity Ball in Atlanta, Georgia. Atlanta is within driving distance from North Carolina. Am I right or wrong? I live in Texas.
Driving distance.
We have an academic symposium in the morning. I will introduce you to Dr. Yvonne Kanko, who is coordinating that event. I think you need to meet a lot of Africa's brain power, people who have a lot of brain power, and that have banged their brain so that you can tap into some of their brain power. So Mom, go ahead.
You just dropped that seed in their lap.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, it's an honor to be here, and thank you so much for having us. Yes, and Charisma is a very smart, bright young lady, and the foundation of what she do. And I tell her, I said, you can do all things through Christ that strengthens you.
That's
so we
right.
really encourage her in the spiritual things as well as the natural things, and she makes sure that, when she do her work in science, that she cross every T and dot every I and study.
Yeah.
And we encourage her to be the best she can be. And she practices, she studies, and
That is awesome. And Mom and Dad, this show is unscripted, so nobody's being rude when they interrupt. I'm not being rude. The show is unscripted. That's how we
That's how we roll. That's how we roll.
So the show is unscripted, but I want to thank you guys for naming her Charisma, because that's exactly who she is. She's charismatic and she's a gift. So do you guys want to say something real quick about her name or why she was named Charisma?
But the Lord gave me that name,
Okay.
and I asked the Lord, what should I name her? And he said, Charisma.
Good.
Charisma Victoria.
See, she's victorious too, because
Victorious
charisma is a
and
root,
charismatic.
charisma is a root
Charismatic.
word for charisma is a root word for gift,
Yes.
and then she's victorious. So she cannot. So parents, be careful. We've talked about this before. Be careful what you name your children.
Yes.
Don't name them disobedience. Don't name them hate. You name them disobedience. On July 4th, we'll be celebrating them as National Disobedience. So because your name is your character and your purpose. That's what name is, Norma. So, all right, over to you, Ambassador Lisa. We
Thank you so much.
And Brother Ronald, who have not spoken.
Thank you, Reverend
Thank
Pam.
you.
Yeah, so I've had the privilege of knowing Charisma since before she was born, while she was still in her mother's womb. And I've had.
No, I don't think so. You're not God. You know her in her mother's womb.
I've known her since she was in her mother's womb. I was there. I've been there every step of the way. So yes, as you were saying, and we're getting a little off topic, but as you were saying about the name that we call our children, we've got to be careful what we're calling them in their name, because their name has meaning. And if you pick up a name, you take piece of the dad, piece of the mom, and piece of grandmoms and put together, and you name it something crazy, have you stunted that child's growth from ever getting a job, because they know it's technically a African American's name, and I'm using a very nice way of saying, but you're not speaking destiny into those children. Charisma, as Charmaine said, the Lord told her to call her Charisma. So every time she's calling her Charisma, she's speaking that into her life just by calling her name. So we must be careful. But back to the subject. As we said, this is not just a United States show. This is a global international show. Just because they're not here on this forum right now doesn't mean that all of Africa, all of Asia, and everybody in the world will not see this program. And yes, while she has her parents here, she's been raised by a village. She's got resources at her disposal. We have children on the continent that do not have these resources. So we have to, and I want to say that I'm very proud of Charisma because she is a trailblazer as well. You were saying how you were the only Black in the class. You are making ways. You're cutting down that forest that other people can come behind you. And it was very important that I have Charisma on the show today as a very young woman, because I wanted them to know that yes, young people are doing this. They're taking time out of their schedules. They're not just out there partying. They're just not out there doing any other thing. They're studying and they're focused. And we want other young people to see her being as dedicated, which is why I'm doing my best to establish libraries in Africa where the books are not readily available, where the internet is not available. If a parent has internet for themselves, because it costs money for data. You have to buy data in order to use the internet. So you're not buying
very expensive
so that your children can just, Google and, just have a good time on the internet. So it makes it very difficult and very hard. So with Reverend Pam being a scientist herself, I don't know why she didn't tell her what she does, but someone being in the sciences herself and a young girl growing up when that was really not an option, we as African-American women are blazing trails for other women to come alongside. So later on, Charisma, I'm going to ask you for a list of books, resources, things that I can look for to add to my library that will be able to help the children to establish themselves in some of the STEM areas. Connie and Ronald, any comments, any questions?
I just have one question for Charisma. Did I hear correctly that you're saying that there are no other African Americans taking up biology at your school?
No, I was in I'm sorry, let me clarify. I was in a summer program called Governor's School. It was a 6-week summer program, and I was doing a research project, and I was the only African American female in that classroom there that summer doing a research project.
So let me ask you this.
In that class.
Okay. So at North Carolina School at Chapel Hill, correct? Okay. Are you in group discussions with the other African Americans to help you with your studies there in biology?
Yes.
Okay, great. That's all. That's the only question I have. I'm happy to learn that you are taking a science course and majoring in biology, because we need a lot of African American scientists in the United States and throughout the world at this moment.
Yes.
Okay, Ambassador Lisa, since you brought this up, I was not hiding it, but because it's not about me, that's why I didn't say.
I'm sorry, you said you were not hiding from us? You're not showing us if you were not hiding?
No, I'm not talking about my face. I'm responding to what you said, that you don't know why I did not say my profession.
What you do.
Whatever. So I will say it, for the benefit of those who are here for the first time, but I was trained as a clinical pharmacist. I went to University of Houston, College of Pharmacy, graduated with honors, and I did a lot of chemistry, medicinal, biochemistry, biopharmaceutics, you name it. I love math. I know you are taking biology. Biology was my least favorite science subject. You know why? I didn't like touching rats or animals. I did not. I'm just letting you know. So I love the theory part of it, but the lab part, I didn't like touching even the human organs, or I honestly did not, I remember one day I was in the pharmacy in the ICU at Texas Children's Hospital, and some delivery guy brought me a delivery, and when I asked what it was, he said it was a human eye. I almost collapsed. I mean, I didn't even touch the eye. The eye, it was already packaged. But so that was my challenge with biology. I didn't like touching the rats or the guinea pigs. I really did not like touching those. But I enjoy compounding. I've done everything in pharmacy except nuclear pharmacy because I didn't want to be exposed to radioactive materials, but I love compounding. So now you know what, I mean, right now I'm just a consultant. Okay. So Ambassador Lisa, is that better?
Yes, thank you. I appreciate that. So it's been my hold up from getting my degree, that biology class, because like you said, they delivered a cow's eye to my job to one of my coworkers. So I was like, y'all must be out of your mind. You delivered it to the job. No, but all through school, I never had to cut open the worm. I never could. I had a friend who's been with me since kindergarten. We had every single class together except for 5th and 6th grade. And she did all the cutting open and I did the writing, but she did all the cutting open. And I just can't get the cutting open. Charisma and I have had several conversations about me trying to get that biology class in. So I want to welcome Diane to the show. I know that Diane's got her hands in 50 million things right now, but she's going to come on and expose herself. But Miss Diane is going to be our guest in September for National Literacy Month. So I posed a question to Charisma, Diane, about some books in the areas of STEM. So I'm posing that question to you as well, to give me a list of books in the STEM areas that I can send to my library. I have 2 pastors coming from Nigeria shortly. Okay. You've read something. I'm talking about the things that you read that got you interested in science. So Connie, did you have a question or a comment? I didn't say go away.
I know, she just turned off her camera when you called her. I thought you were asking a question to Diane.
And join the conversation, please. Yeah.
Connie, I don't appreciate that.
But I thought you asked, weren't you asking Diane a question?
I was telling Diane that I'm giving.
Oh, she's
muted. I was telling Diane that I'm going to get some books from her as well, because that's her area, national literacy, because that is, see, last year, or in 2019, when I went back to Nigeria, I established a STEM program in the area of Legos. I introduced the Lego STEM program, the robotics with the Legos and things like that. So I'm hoping that when I go back, I will see an expansion of that program, but there's some books I want to add to the library in this area. Like I said, they don't have internet, they don't have libraries, they don't have Google to do a lot of research. So I want to be able to make some things readily available, and they're loving the library, but I'm not.
Okay, Ambassador Lisa, let me just put an extra smile on your face. I will notify our team in Atlanta to collect some STEM books for you in October. So when you come, bring an extra suitcase.
I certainly will.
To take the books back. I will do that, yes.
Thank you. Softback books is preferably, because hardbacks are very heavy on the airplane.
Yes,
Welcome back, Connie.
She's muted.
Unmute yourself. Do you have a question or comment in the area of sciences? You got your grandkids over there.
You're muted. She's muted.
Yeah, she's okay.
Well,
now she's... Hello.
Yes. Yeah. I don't have no question. I was just enjoying everyone that's been on there.
Okay.
Awesome.
Thank you. So, Charisma, how are you doing any mentoring? As well? I know you got your hands full with your double major and you're studying, and I do appreciate you taking this hour and a half out. But are you pouring back yet? Are you giving back to those that are coming behind you? Elementary school, junior high?
Yes, I had the opportunity to be a part, to teach a summer camp myself at the Center for Energy for Education. And I was the leader for their capstone project. So the students at the camp were given a project in 2030. What would you like your town to look like, and how would you want it to run off of renewable energy? So I led them through the process of looking at our area from the maps, taught them how to use GIS software where you kind of like see areas with dense trees or green fields or rivers. And I made them reconstruct our county in 3D and then place areas where there were solar panels or areas where there were car charging stations. And then I made them a worksheet and had them to call up different places like Dominion Energy, Duke Energy, and ask them how much energy is supplied to this area, and kind of walking them through the process about renewable energy and helping them learn more about their town and science in that area, because science also applies to environmental sciences as well as biological and chemical sciences. So I had a wonderful opportunity to lead those camps for 2 summers. And
that is awesome.
Yes,
that is fantastic.
Someone to be so young, to be doing so many, having her hands in so many things. I am extremely, extremely proud. So you are pouring back, but do you have any one particular person that you kind of gravitated to, or that has gravitated to you, that you can kind of pull aside and say, this is my mentor, my mentee rather?
Not at the moment, but I will look and pray for such an individual for God to bless me with the poor.
There you go.
Oh, okay.
That's the key thing.
Oh,
That
okay.
is the key
Yeah.
thing. Pray for God to bless, because you definitely don't want a mentor who would misguide you.
Yes.
You know, who may know the biology, but as a human being,
That
they are a
being said,
mess.
can I
They
ask
are
a question
mess.
now, Charisma? Yes, science is like just a tree. It certainly has a lot of branches. Can you clarify us on the different branches of science?
That was my question for after.
Oh, I seem to be taking
Okay,
people's
go ahead,
questions.
go ahead.
Okay,
Well, to-
Charisma.
Well, to my understanding, there's many branches such as the natural sciences, the physical sciences, and the social sciences.
Yep.
And so my focus and most of my knowledge is towards the natural sciences and biology.
Yes.
And
And when we
social
talk, yeah, can you mention the other sciences that fall under those three branches?
I believe the social sciences have things like psychology, and the
Yes.
natural sciences have things like biology,
Yes.
and the physical sciences, things like physics and mechanics, I believe.
Okay.
And yeah, so I think she's answered
Thank
your
you for
question.
that. Thank you. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, Reverend Pan.
Now, so I think she's answered your question. She's done really well.
Yeah, she did.
I'm
she
very
did,
proud
she
of
did,
her.
yeah. There's somebody on cell phone. Can the person
I was just
identify
texting you
themselves and-
about that guy. Yeah, so you keep stealing people's words and questions on this show today.
Okay,
Ambassador
it's
Lisa, I
all
just
right.
texted you guys about the person on 2267.
Yeah, I see. Your message
Okay,
actually just
all
came
right.
in. So who is on the phone?
Thank you.
Can you unmute whoever's on the phone, or are you just listening? Or do you have a comment and a question?
Unmute, but I think if it's a phone, it's *69. Is that correct?
I don't, Ruth is not here to tell me that, so
Yes,
I don't know how to unmute from the phone.
that's right.
Okay, so Charisma, I am so impressed with you because I didn't even know your background when we met you before. That was in 2020 when we're doing our fundraiser, the Operation Borehole. I don't know if your parents saw you dancing on that fundraiser. You know, we have another one coming up in September, but what after this biology degree, what are your plans?
My plans are to continue my research. I would definitely like to start applying to PhD programs. I love research. I love learning about science and learning about the world. And I definitely want to continue doing that.
Okay, so would you be interested in doing some research on the continent? I mean, you don't have to physically go there. You know, that's why the Brain Bank is, you know, it's a virtual bank. Would you be interested in doing some virtual research on the continent?
Sure, I'd be interested.
Okay, good. So we'll talk more in October. Ambassador Lisa.
Yes. So I was going to ask what was her future goals. She's already said she's like research, but is there any particular area of research, or you just like above ground, just as long as I'm digging in the books and the notes? But is there any particular focus in research you'd like to do?
Yes, my particular focus is in plant science.
Plant science.
Awesome.
Now
Awesome.
that's going to be very helpful on the continent. While, you know, they do grow food, but a lot of times the dirt is not good soil. The water, of course, is not good. So when you don't have good soil and you don't have good water and you're growing things, you're not growing very healthy plant vegetation. Here we have something called aquaponics. Do you know what that is?
Yes.
So how can we help our children on the continent begin to do some research or begin to do some aquaponics to clean the water, perhaps, so they can grow good vegetation, which of course will grow healthy minds and healthy bodies?
Yes, perhaps learning more about the topic, seeing different ways that people apply it, what type of plants should or can grow in the water, which ones they have available in that area to utilize, and trying it out, maybe in like a small area of water and trying it out.
Mm-hmm. So is that the one thing that you would suggest for, let's say, high school students who are about to go to college? Now, a lot of times on the continent, the children take a test, and the test determines what they will go to college and university and study.
Yes.
I have met more accountants in Africa who never wanted to study accounting, who hate numbers and
Yes.
want to do something else. So, I take all this information and I come home and I try and ask the Lord and I try and figure out ways of helping them to focus on the areas that they really want to go into.
That's true.
So I guess my question would be, outside of the, Googling, because they don't have the internet, what is the one advice that you would give a child on the continent who has tested and is being told by the government that this is what they must study in school, however, they don't want to study that in school? What is the one thing you would advise them to try and do to go towards what it is they really want to do?
I would tell them to go for it. And so it's okay to do, well, for me in particular, for my personal advice, I do more than one thing. I love biology, but I'm also studying communication studies. I'm also really interested in that. So while you have something that the world says, well, this is interesting, this is cool for you to do, you also don't have to ignore your passions and things that you want to learn about and things that you're interested in, because those are just as important and can be just as meaningful if you put the time.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much, because like I said, I'm meeting more people who are going to school to study what the government or that test said they should take. And that's not what they want to do. So they've spent money, they've spent time in the university, and they have lecturers because they don't have books. I have a student here, actually her father's on his way. She studied French. When he comes, I have to spend all this time looking for all these textbooks to send back with him because there are no textbooks in the universities. So his kids get textbooks. All my family gets textbooks because they just let me know what they're studying. And then I take my time to hunt down the textbooks for next level so that, there are some books there, but it's not enough for the students. How would you take that situation that I just described and help a student, even if it's just one? Because I always say each one reach one, each one teach one. How would you reach one student? How would you reach one? How would you teach one? How would you help one?
Me personally?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I would want to share those skills. So let's say I have a skill that someone else doesn't have, but they don't know about it. I could share it with them and help teach them about it. So kind of just, if I share with you and you share with me, we both learn in the different areas that we weren't as familiar with.
Yes.
That is so awesome. Let me jump in here. Charisma doesn't know this, but we have a division of the Brain Bank called African High School Association, and the focus is STEM. The only subject there that is not STEM is English. I'm reluctant to add French there because I really don't care for French. Or anyway, let me not go. Let me not go off tangent. But so we will talk later because I think that program will be launched soon. The whole idea is for people to mentor high school students and for high school students to learn from each other. But there's one other guy that I'm going to introduce you to. He's with the Congo Basin Institute. Since you say you're interested in studying plants, I think he'll be a good resource for you. I'm actually going to call him right after the show to talk about you, and I'll see if he can make it to Atlanta so you guys can meet. But his name is Dr. Jabo. He has a TED series that he's done. He's out of UCLA. He's part of the Brain Bank. He's one of our directors. I'm going to definitely introduce you to him.
Thank you.
Yeah, so.
If he's part of the Brain Bank, there is no hope that he comes to Atlanta. The Brain Bank is sponsoring, so he will be in Atlanta. Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying if he's in the country, because
if he's in the country. Okay.
At an inaugural event, he couldn't come because it coincided with him taking students to Africa.
Oh, okay. Okay, I got you. Son.
Yeah, Dad and Mom, we continue to thank you for all you've done and all you are doing for Charisma. But is there something else you would want her to do that you want to tell us on this show today?
You asking the parents?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, well, I just want her to go forth in her giftings and talents, because I believe they're the main things that the Holy Spirit assists you with, the things that he has given you. He says, I have a hope in the plan. So the Holy Spirit is going to assist you with what he has ordained you before the foundation of the world, as far as your destiny and purpose is concerned. So I thank God for her going forth in her giftings and the talents, and especially in communication, because she's going forth in with her communication gifting and talking about science so people can understand it all the more.
Yes, and that is important, that you be able to break down these terms and these ideals so that people who are not educated in your field of study can understand and have a desire. But Charmaine, the question was, what other areas would you want to encourage her in? Yes, we know that, you know, science seems to be her very main focus and the communication, but are there other areas that you would like to see her move into or try her hand at?
Just the communication, because she's gifted in communicating. So she's very articulate.
Yes, she is.
So
She's very charismatic.
Yeah.
Well,
Dad.
I would like to encourage Charisma to pursue her God-given gift, which is also a voice and singing. She is a natural at singing, and myself, I'm a professional artist, graphic artist, and designer, and Charisma is also a natural, awesome graphic designer and artist also. So she's very talented in those areas. Wow. And what she's doing now in her intern, she's taking her graphics ability and utilizing them through animation and computer science and computer graphics to teach and illustrate biology and science, and actually show how the plants grow these little cells. And she's making notations and videos. And this is like a learning tool that she can upload and teach other students to do.
That's
awesome.
That's brilliant.
Awesome.
So Charisma is actually very well balanced, because sometimes you have people who are more academic, and then you have some people who are more creative, but she seems to have a very good balance of both. You know, just a couple of weeks ago, we did The Man, the Myth, the Poet. And I had two doctors. One was a medical doctor, a matter of fact, and surgeon. And the other one was a PhD in languages who teaches 13 languages. And as brilliant as they were on the academic side, they were equally as creative with the poetry that they were writing. You know,
yeah. Oh yes.
His books have been translated into 13 languages. He was internationally known, and I was just so fascinated with the fact that they were able to grow up and be so equally balanced.
And one of them is speaking in Atlanta, the surgeon. And
Dr.
he's known globally not for his surgical abilities, but for his poetic
poetry.
ability. Can you believe that?
Yes.
He's a globally renowned poet.
So,
and he went to medical school because that's what was selected for him. But his passion was, you know, so that actually helps answer that question. Those people are those children that the governments in Africa are telling you, do this, do that. In my case, they tried to put me in economics, geography, and math, because I was good at math, good at economics, good at geography, but I was also good in physics and chemistry. But they decided to select me for the geography, and I decided, no, I'm going to do biology, chemistry, physics, and math, because I was stubborn. You know, but not many people are stubborn like me, you know, so.
Stubborn, isn't that another word for disobedient?
No,
sure. It's stubborn,
no, it's
disobedient.
Not.
It's not.
Be careful. It's not.
Yes.
But you were stubborn in a good way, because you knew what you needed to do and you knew what you wanted to do, and you refused to be pushed in and pigeonholed. And I believe, you know, with the work that we're doing at the UN now with women and children disadvantaged and underserved communities, we're helping them to explore, to open your mind and explore what is in your heart. Let's not look at your circumstances. Don't look at the fact that this is all I have in my hand, but what is in your hand that you can use? And let's explore other areas. It is now the top of the hour. We're going to take a break, grab a drink of water. We're going to play our national anthem, and we'll come back with more from Miss Charisma Daniels.
And parents, don't go away, please. I have a question for you.
Africa. Oh no. Africans, Africans for Africa. 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 Africans have many bright ideas. If only you let us share. If you really want to know my history, please come, sit down, listen to my story. God gave us a wisdom. He guides our footsteps, makes us shine and transform. Hey, as one people, with so many cultures, yet indeed we are one. Stand up, Africans, let's save Africa. Let us all unite behind Africaonline Media Corporation. Stand up, Africans, let's save Africa. It's time to come together, promote awareness, progress, and solution. Hey. Africans, Africans for Africa. Africans, Africans for Africa. Africans, Africans for Africa. All Africans can rally for a common cause, to believe without judgment in what our brother does. To identify and resolve our challenges, to allow each other's ideas without regard to standards. As one people with so many cultures, yes indeed we are one. Stand up, Africans, for Africa. Let us solve all the problems plaguing our continent. Stand up, Africans, let's save Africa. Let us empower Africans in and out of Africa. Stand up, Africans, for Africa. Africaonline Media Corporation, that's a good way to start. Stand up, Africans, let's save Africa. They have all the resources we need to benefit our society. Oh. Education for everyone, if we believe. Prosperity for Africans, if we believe. Medical facilitation for Africans, if we believe. Stand up, Africa, yes, for Africa. Africaonline Media Corporation, that's a good way to start. Stand up, Africans, let's save Africa. Africa is the cradle of civilization, the motherland. Stand up, Africans, for Africa. We were enslaved not because we were weak, but because of our hospitality. Stand up, Africans, let's save Africa. Jump on the Africaonline miracle jet. Don't be left behind. Stand up, Africans, for Africa. Together we shall succeed. Together we will win. Stand up, Africans, let's save Africa. We are writing our own story, the truth, and we shall tell it to the world. Stand Africa.
No more lies. Africans own Africa. I am so impressed with what I've been hearing from our little daughter here, Charisma. You know, you are truly your name. You are truly your name. Is somebody speaking? Okay. All right. Well, coming up next week, we're going to be addressing the E in STEM, where we could have done the T, but our technology people, our IT people are on the road. They'll be back on week 3. So on the 10th, we are going to be discussing engineering. Dr. Robert Baffa will be here, and we're going to have a couple of engineers from the continent join us. You know, you know, we've done STEM for 6 years. You know, we do STEM every year. And STEM is our cardinal project at Africa's Brain Bank. That's our cardinal project, you know. And I'm just so excited because we keep talking about it and more people are getting into it, into the sciences, technology, engineering, and math. They are getting into it, you know. So you go to Wall Street, it's all math. I think the only school that you don't need math is in law school, but if you're a lawyer and you want to be a good one, you need to know math too, because you need to know how to charge and how to count your money, you know? So, but anyway, so that's what we're going to be talking about next week, engineering. And Ambassador Lisa is going to get us a female mathematician for the 4th week of July. We do STEM and STEW when we have 5 Sundays a month, because the last Sunday of the month is always a medical topic. And the medical topic for this month is going to be a very hot topic. It's very, very hot. I'm not going to say it now. I'll announce it on week 4. But so we're going to be talking. So I want to encourage everybody, you know, share, Ambassador Lisa, share this Facebook link with Charisma. Charisma, actually get my number from Ambassador Lisa, because I need to brief you about the summit. And I'm actually going to purchase your ticket for you, your event ticket to enter, because there's a fee to get into the event. Wow. So I will purchase your event ticket for you, because I know you're a student, so I don't expect you to, you know, but I think your life will be different when you come back from Atlanta in October. There is an academic symposium in the morning, and then there's a summit and a charity ball in the evening. So just check your calendar. If you can make it, fine. But get my number from Ambassador Lisa. So before I hand over to Ambassador Lisa, our sister organization, let me see if I can find the stuff here to share. Our sister organization.
I got it.
Oh, okay, you have the information. Oh, good. Okay, over to you, Ambassador Lisa. Over to you.
Okay, so Africaonline and Africa Brain Bank have an ongoing fundraising project called Operation Borehole 55. Can you imagine getting up, sending your daughter to walk 5 miles to get water, unclean river, to get water from an unclean river, then to walk back that 5 miles to home, just so that there will be a 5-gallon jerry can, what they call jerry can of water, and that water is not clean. It must wash the clothes, it must prepare the meals, it must bathe with, and it's not clean, and it's also your drinking water. All this before your daughter goes to school, and she's not even had any chance to eat.
Ambassador Lisa,
something went wrong.
Frozen? Is she frozen? Okay.
I think so.
All right. Well, while we are waiting for her to thaw herself out of that freezer, you know, basically, Operation Borehole 55 is it's a project that Africa's Brain Bank is implementing on the continent on behalf of Africaonline Media Corporation. Africa's Brain Bank has footprints all over Africa. Africaonline does not. So our sister organization is implementing that project for us. The first one has been done 4 months ago in Sierra Leone. The clinic, they were averaging 10 deliveries a night on one delivery bed. We just lost Ambassador Lisa. One delivery bed, no water. Can you imagine giving birth and another woman coming and there's no water to clean the bed? And yes, we have the videos. Charisma was at our fundraiser in September, Labor Day 2020. And these videos were real. They were not stock videos. They made the videos for Africaonline Media Corporation. So we selected Sierra Leone. The water has been, the borehole has been sunk. The engineer who was God sent decided to use the solar power from the solar panels to electrify the maternity. You know, so Ambassador, I'll hand over to you in a minute. Let me just land with this. So that maternity now has water plus electricity. And that water, there's an external tap to serve 30,000 people. The parchment population, there's 6,000 households. So we're just being conservative with the numbers. So I'll let Ambassador Lisa tell you guys how to donate, and then she can talk about the Brain Bank event in October.
Yes, and you know what, Charisma? You had a hand in making sure that that facility in Sierra Leone is now operational.
That's true.
Water and the 6,000 households that are also benefiting from that borehole. And it is our desire to do that in every country on the continent. So if you would like to make a donation, it does not matter. It does not matter.
Ambassador Lisa, you're not allowed to have any more technical difficulty.
Hello?
Yes.
Okay, so I don't know what is going on here. So if you would like to make a donation.
Okay, Ambassador Lisa, fix your problem and then let us know you are echoing.
Yeah, give me a second. Let me turn the laptop down. Oh.
All right, to make a donation, you need to, Ambassador Lisa, when you fix it, you can unmute yourself. You need to go to Africaonlinetv.org to make your donation. Are you okay now, Ambassador Lisa? Unmute yourself. Ambassador Lisa, okay. Well, so to make a donation, and when she comes back, I'll try to pull the donation list so you can see your name there. Are you okay now, Ambassador Lisa?
Yes, I am back.
Okay, go ahead.
I think I'm back. So if you would like to make a donation towards country is Kenya, that will be getting a borehole, visit our website at www.africaonlinetv.org, where you can make a donation. It does not matter how little, how small, every dime goes towards the borehole project. No administrative fees are taken out of anything that you make. You can donate one time, you can donate monthly, you can donate quarterly, but it does not matter how much dollar, rand, shilling, pounds you have. We can use it all towards the borehole project. Also, Africa's Brain Bank, our sister organization, will be sponsoring its third annual summit and charity ball gala in the Hot ATL, Atlanta, Georgia, October 8th and the 9th. Don't wait. Register, get your tickets now because we don't want the rooms to run out. I'm not sure if I'm still online now because now.
Yeah, I just want Charisma to see her name. Do you guys see my screen?
My screen is totally blank.
No, do you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Charisma is donor number 26, and she gave us $25 towards that ball. I just wanted to show the proof. These are the list of all the donors, started with the top donor on September 6, 2020. So Charisma, that money that you gave us, it saved a lot of lives. All right, Ambassador Lisa, go ahead. I just wanted to show the list of donors.
Okay, so go to the Africaonlinetv.org and make your donation. All of it will be appreciated. And we will soon have our upcoming next fundraiser and look forward to information from that soon. The save the date is already out for the charity ball, October 8th and the 9th. Don't wait. Meet us all in Atlanta at the Atlanta Marriott for our 2-day summit and charity ball, where we'll be raising money for our S.T.E.M program, which is one of our first focus, and Operation Borehole. Thank you, Reverend Pam. Back to you, Nea-san.
Merci, madame. Merci beaucoup. Notre but à Africaonline, c'est d'aider les populations sur place dans le continent de trouver une vie meilleure. Donc, on a lancé un programme depuis 2019 pour creuser des puits d'eau potable dans les divers centres de santé développés dans les divers pays africains. Il y en a 55 pays. On a commencé au Sierra Leone. Celui-là est déjà fait. et ça aide une population directe de 6 000 avec une population extensive de 30 000 personnes. Et nous souhaitons que chacun de nous ou quelqu'un que vous connaissiez puisse mettre quelque chose dans notre panier pour qu'on puisse avoir un peu de l'argent pour continuer à creuser des puits d'eau potable dans les divers pays africains. Après le Sierra Leone, le prochain sera au Kenya, c'est déjà établi, mais on n'a pas encore commencé. On continue à chercher de l'argent pour continuer à faire cela. Vous pouvez faire votre petite contribution à africaonlinetv.org. Il n'y a pas d'impôt, donc n'hésitez pas de nous donner quelque chose. Autrement dit, le mois prochain, en octobre, Africa's Brain Bank projette avoir un gala, une soirée de gala, ça sera 2 jours quand même, le 8 et le 9 octobre, ça sera à Atlanta, à l'aéroport. Je crois qu'il y a un Marriott à l'aéroport d'Atlanta. Donc, nous vous demandons de vous intéresser à cette affaire et de nous joindre à Atlanta pour cet sommet qui aura lieu le 8 et le 9 octobre. That said, my question before we say anything, I wanted the parents of Charisma to know that I have a question for them. They should be thinking about it. What would you tell a parent who is kind of not reluctant about her daughter going to the sciences or going to STEM for that matter? What would you tell other parents to do to encourage their daughters to join the sciences, to sign up for the sciences, to study STEM, or to follow the STEM curriculum? That will be later. So, Ambassador Lisa, I think you are the one to take the cue from me.
Go. I'm having very, very bad technical difficulties.
Okay. Charisma's parents, please go with that question. What would you tell other parents, either here in the United States or somewhere else in the diaspora of African descent, who is hesitant about the daughter going to the sciences or going to STEM education for that matter?
Well, I would tell them to be 100% supportive if they can. Try to encourage them to go forward with their dream and their vision in STEM, and encourage them that they can do it and that God will make a way. I believe if they take a step towards it, I believe the Lord will open doors for them and give them divine connection and give them favor with the right people to further their education in that area and to allow their dreams to come to pass. And I believe God would give the parents the right people, the right connections, and divine favor to help the students or to help the children pursue their dreams. Because I believe that's part of God's plan and vision for the future, for science, for the young people to go forward with their dreams. And the Lord will support this because I believe this is what he wants to happen in the research area, because we need new scientists to come into this field.
Ambassador Lisa, I think you're okay.
Mom has something to add.
I had to turn the laptop off.
Yes.
Speaking of
No, Mom is still speaking.
Mom is still speaking.
Oh, I'm sorry. I can't see her.
Yes. Like my husband was saying, God gives, he gives opportunity and he gives chance. And look for your opportunity, seek, and you will find. And so when he gives the chance, when he gives the opportunity, step out in it and do your best and fill out the application and just go for it. And I believe that door will be open. And just have faith and be courageous and just go for it.
Thank you so much. Now, Ambassador Lisa, I hope your connections are better now. You had something to add.
I don't know what's going on over here, but
you're fine. You're okay now.
One thing Will was saying about for more young people to go into STEM and into the research areas, that's one key that's very important, because a lot of tests, a lot of studies and things that are out there now are not geared toward African Americans and people of color. We have a different type of blood pressure on a natural basis, and so all the tests that have been established so far have been done for people that are not of color. So they get misconstrued reading. So we do need people of African descent to go into research and begin to develop tests that fit us as a people, the way we eat, the way we live, the way we function. There has to be another test. And a lot of children get mislabeled, get misunderstood because the tests that they've been given were not geared toward them. So we do need more people in that area. And I'm very happy to have a young person on here today talking about this area. We have another guest online, Miss Iris. I believe I saw you. I'm on my phone, so I really can't see, but 4 people at a time. Yes, Iris is there. Welcome to Africa Online. Welcome. If you would turn on your camera, we would be so happy.
Well, I'm moving around, but if you want me to have it on, you might just see the kitchen.
Oh.
That's okay.
That's all right.
Okay. Well, we want you to, do you have a comment, a question for Charisma? She is the aunt of, she helped her niece, who is a PhD. I was telling Charisma just last night that her niece has her PhD at 23, and she is a research biologist as well. So as a support person, how do you encourage, how would you continue to help our daughters to be encouraged to go into the STEM area?
Well, like you said, their course of study is very rigorous and it's difficult. So if they ask you to read their research papers, that's what I did for my niece, to give her a critique, to catch her, grammatical errors, because I'm not a scientist. So I couldn't help her with the science part of it, but I could help her with her papers, just any support they need, reading their papers. If they need study aid, anything to do to help them to be focused on the goal. And I just want to say one thing that I found with my niece in the sciences is, like Prophetess Lisa was saying, it's an industry where there are very few minorities, and sometimes they have sharp elbows because they want to move them. They face some discrimination. It's a hard road, but with prayer and opportunities open up, like everyone was saying, with prayer for these young people, there are opportunities. They can make it. It is hard, it is rigorous, but with support from family and what they're doing, they can make it. They can do it.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah. I also like to mention, we have to encourage ourselves, and especially in this STEM area where we are lacking. Let's not hope and be praying that other people are going to encourage us. We have to encourage ourselves. Yeah. And when I say we, I'm not talking about just our children. I mean, you, myself, every one of us, we encourage these young people. You see somebody you can link a child like Charisma with, do it so that they can be exposed to avenues that they never even dreamt of or even imagined. Because knowledge is power. We live in a knowledge era right now. The people that make the money are people that have the knowledge, that know the stuff, because if you don't know, because there are a lot of parents who don't even know about STEM, who have never heard about it, or they don't even know that that's the way to go. So we have to keep doing these shows to educate our people, to inform them, to empower them, to enlighten them, to enrich them. So we have to, and I'm glad Charisma is giving back, but let's use social media to encourage our people, to educate them. Because the people don't watch television. They are on streaming channels and on Facebook and on WhatsApp and all this other, Twitter and all this. That's where they are. So let's use those platforms to encourage and empower and educate. And yeah, so we have just 6 minutes. I think it's time to take a last word.
Okay, I'm going to take a round of the table and say your last word. We will start, I don't know, Sister Connie, I don't know, are you going to say your last word? Have you something to say, or you are still just listening? I think she's just listening. Okay, we turn now to Brother Ronald. Your last word, please, on the show today.
my last word is I wish to encourage Charisma to go forward and earn her degree in both her majors of biology and communication. I wish her much success and Godspeed.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Sister Iris, are you still with us? You may be seeing the kitchen, but don't make us hungry by showing us the food. Your last word on the show. I know you just came in, but you certainly have a last word.
Be encouraged. You can do it.
Good.
Good, good. That said, Charisma's parents, please take turns to give us your last words on this show today.
Just start your start, because just like in football, every inch, every yard counts.
Very good.
Awesome.
Thank you.
I would like to say to Charisma and to the other young girls and young men in the world, use the gift that God has given you and use the tools, because tools are very essential to your profession and knowledge. Isaiah 33:6 said, wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of your time. So get the knowledge so that you can be stable, and use the gift and use your tools, and you can do it, Charisma. You are successful and victorious.
Awesome. Awesome. Awesome.
Thank you, Dad and Mom. Thank you, Dad and Mom, for such a wonderful daughter that you are raising. Continue to do what you've been doing for her. Never relent, never get tired, never look back. Continue. That said, Ambassador Lisa, your last word.
Thank you. Again, I want to thank Charisma. Oh, I see the new baby. I'll talk to Iris later. I'm not going to get caught off track. I'm not going to get caught off track. Thank you so much, Charisma, for agreeing. I know that you've got a very major exam coming up, but you took the time out, and I certainly appreciate you, Charmaine and Will, for coming on and always being a support. To all of our daughters on the continent and here in the diaspora, start where you are. As Charmaine said, start with what's in your hand. What's in your hand? You may not be able to do what other people have done, but there is something that you're in your hand that you can start with. Connect. It's about relationship. Connect with somebody who is doing what you want to do. Begin to friend them. Those of us who are already doing these things, find someone that we can reach back, that we can mentor, that we can pull alongside and bring up along with us. If we don't connect, if we don't do it for our people, no one else will. Thank you so much, Reverend Pam and Nia.
Thank you so much, Ambassador Lisa. I keep getting myself mixed up. Charisma, before I ask you to say your last word, just know that we are for you. It may be a hard road to travel, as Iris said, but I thank you very sincerely for not being daunted by the challenges and the pecks that friends might have made on you. They might have said, oh, yeah, you're going to sign. What do you think you are? But you never gave up. You never surrendered. You never relented. Thank you very much. And your last word on the show.
It is possible. Keep going and pray for God to strengthen you.
Thank you so very much. Reverend Pam, I think it's your turn now to not just say your last word.
Before I give my last word, Charisma, do you have any projects or anything that you're working on that you want to share with our viewers, something we can promote? Do you have anything, you have any companies or you have anything that we can promote on this show so our viewers can support? Do you have?
Yes, I'm currently selling my t-shirt line, Brought by the Blood, which represents how we were brought by the blood of Jesus. And it's available on my Etsy store, and I also do shipping out to people who buy it. And that shirt is very
real quick. This show is our show, so I'll extend it. I just made you co-host. Do you have anything to share? Can you share it?
Mom, Dad, I think Dad is going to go get a t-shirt.
Yeah, but I want it on the screen. Charisma, do you have it online where you can
She's
show?
about to show.
The reason why I asked that, because somewhere in the back of my brain, I kept thinking she's an entrepreneur. I kept thinking there was something.
She was one of the guests on the Youthpreneur show.
Exactly. That's why I asked that question. I couldn't quite, I thought maybe I was missed, but it kept, bugging me in the back of my mind. So I just made her good. So let's share this. There you go.
This is my shirt, Brought by the Blood. It's just evangelism tool that I use to talk about how we were brought by the blood of Jesus, and talking about how God, it's a tool that I use to spread the message about the word of God. We were brought by the blood of Jesus. Jesus bled for us, died for us, and we were purchased with his blood. And with my shirts, I always mail out flyers and cards talking about Ephesians 1:7. He is so rich in kindness and grace that he purchased our freedom with the blood of his son and forgave our sins.
Wow.
And so that's my current product that I'm promoting.
Okay, good. And I want you to also post that website, the link, the URL on the chat box. I want you to do that.
Okay.
Oh, somebody gonna have to save the chat back because I'm not online, so I can't save.
No,
the
I
chat
mean
back.
her. She can post it there so our viewers will see it.
Yes.
Yeah, Charisma, put it there before we end the show. We're about to end the show.
Your last word first before we end the show.
No, I know, but I want her to put her link,
Yes.
We need to
yes,
support
you
this
should.
young lady. We have to support her.
Yes.
So my last word, I think either Charisma or the parents say you can do all things, and that's Philippians 4:13. You can do all things through Christ who strengthened you. If you are a girl or a young boy and you don't have help, just look unto, Hebrews 12 to say, looking unto Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith. So look unto him and he will guide you. And you can always inbox us. We're not distributing money. We're not trying to sponsor anybody, but we can encourage you. There are things that are bigger than money. We can support you, and we will link you with some people that can help, So Charisma, I am so proud of you. So you don't even know. I'm so proud of you. And I'll be looking forward to, if it's okay with your parents, seeing you in Atlanta, Georgia. Yes.
Thank you very much, Reverend Pam. Thank you, everyone, for being on the show today. Yes, Dad?
I said, you're welcome.
Okay, thank you. Again, Charisma, we cannot thank you enough. We look forward to being with you everywhere and on the road as you progress. We look forward to seeing you achieve more things in your life, and we look forward to wearing that t-shirt. So that said, please, everyone, let us all rejoice and be glad and go forth and have a wonderful, wonderful 4th of July. Yeah. Have a good day.
Yeah,
good evening,
take it easy on the barbecue and be safe. Happy 4th of July, everyone.
Happy 4th of July.
Bye-bye.
Happy 4th of July.
Happy 4th of July.